Soda Music, the #1 website for high-quality plugins and sample packs.
All right, let's get into it. Baddies Only, welcome to the channel. How's everything?
Thank you for having me. We're good, alive, and well. How you doing?
I'm very great, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to ask you a few questions today, so hopefully you have some great answers. I'm sure you have some great answers. But what initially got you into music production?
Well, for me, music production was discovering Avicii, Swedish House Mafia, Deadmau5 back in the day around 2009, 2010. They hugely influenced me and got me into electronic music.
Okay, awesome. Then those are like the legends, right?
Those are the GOATs.
Yeah, those are really the GOATs, yeah.
Those are the guys that got me just like... I fell in love with electronic music because of them.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, you're doing a great job, right? So it definitely inspires you.
Yeah, exactly.
So when it comes to production, what DAW do you use? Is it Ableton? Is it Logic?
Yeah, so I use Ableton. I've been in a committed relationship with Ableton since 2011. Just since the glory days, since I started making music, and it was horrible. And then obviously now we've got to a point where it's awesome. But since 2011, been on Ableton. I've seen over the years how it's advanced. I mean, it's crazy now. You can
crazy, right? Yeah.
Your sample similarity function where you can literally just like toggle through similar sounds, which I use all the time now. I mean, I love how you can manipulate samples. And yeah, I mean, Ableton's amazing. Very user friendly.
Yeah. And have you ever tried anything else, or it's always Ableton?
I dabble when I'm in other sessions with other artists or producers. Yeah. I kind of, if they're on Fruity Loops, I try to do something, click here and there, and I always mess it up. So I just stay in my lane.
I think you have to choose your weapons wisely, right?
Yeah. You got to know where you fit.
Exactly. If you had to choose a favorite plugin for sound design, what plugin would you use, and yeah, why does it stand out for you?
So for me, Serum, I used to be a big silent, massive guy, and I still kind of go there if I want to kind of discover older, kind of cool sounds that I might have missed. But Serum, because I mean, you can just create everything from scratch. You can manipulate the sounds, the wavetables. It's just very intuitive, and it's very easy to use, and then the quality of the sounds are so high. The quality of everything is just super high.
It's crazy, right? And it just keeps getting better. You can do so much to it. You can change it, twist it up.
The tweaking is out of control. It's really amazing.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what I feel like is what sets apart a good song from a great song is if you can tweak and really get into the details. And that's kind of, if you have the tools to do that, that's kind of the most important thing.
Yeah, exactly. And it's obviously getting better in the sound design of things. And Serum is definitely one of the best options, if not the best option, of course.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, right. So you've explored a variety of genres over the years, even with your like musical influences. Just want to really know, like, what's your favorite genre to produce right now?
It's tough because I've been inspired by so many different types of music. So right now I kind of live between the Afro Latin tech world. So in between all of it, and I'm making music with so many different artists, and some artists fit more on the Afro vibe. Some artists that I collaborate fit more with the tech vibe. And so because I've been making all of it for a while now, and I'm drawn from so many inspirations from so many different people that I'm kind of living in that whole space.
Yeah, just the baddie vibe, right?
That's the baddie vibe. I think what the baddie like.
What exactly? That's the most important thing, right? We always say, hey, if the girls aren't dancing, then the
baddies aren't dancing now.
Yeah, exactly, right? That's the most important thing. When I'm looking out, also when I'm DJing, I'm like, okay, why are no girls dancing? But we got to switch it up.
No, I mean,
let's get some baddies.
I think a lot of DJs, they're probably lying to you if they didn't get into making music for the girls,
That's very true. Yeah, exactly. They're very wrong. A lot of interviews, yeah, I like this and the sound and the instruments.
Like, all right, come on. Let's be honest.
Do you have a specific track or a specific project that you're most proud of?
Yeah, definitely. Aquilas Colombianas was kind of my first breakthrough song in 2022. In the summer of 2022, it like exploded to like the sixth most Shazam dance song in the world, and it was there for like months.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like, I don't know, it was one of those moments where you're just like, wow, I made a piece of art. I made something that really resonated with people. And that was always my goal since, starting to make music in 2011. And the fact that I saw like people streaming the song and it was getting millions of streams and people were Shazamming it. And it was just like, it was a surreal experience.
It's crazy, right? I remember just hearing it like it's just so many playlists. I was like, okay, I gotta know this song. Like,
I was in Mykonos that summer, and this guy was setting up the DJ equipment at our house, and I just was testing the DJ equipment, and I played Aquilas Colombianas, and he's like, "Oh, I love this song," and I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah,
that's
go to the yeah." I was like, "Then," he goes, "If you go to the Mykonos town right now, you'll hear it playing everywhere," and I was like, "That's my song," and he's like, "No way, that's your song," and I was like, "Yeah," and I was just like, "Holy shit, this is happening."
Yeah, and the Greek people really love that vibe as well.
Oh, yeah.
Greece is all about that vibe.
I tell people I make music for the beach clubs. That's my vibe. You just have me on the beach with a glass of rosé, and I'm set.
Oh, nice. That's the best, right? A great feeling.
Soda Music, the #1 website for high-quality plugins and sample packs.
So how do you stay inspired creatively when working on new music? Obviously, you're making a lot of tracks. Like you said, trying to work on different genres. So how do you stay inspired?
So for me, the #1 thing for me, there's two things. One is collaborating with other people. So the more you get in the studio with other people, the more you get inspired. You see how they make music and bouncing ideas off of each other. And I think that's kind of you can create some really special music that way. And then the other way is kind of listening to older music and kind of seeing how I can reimagine the music and the energy of today. So I kind of just constantly remind myself like, oh, like let's go listen to some like stuff you were really inspired on when you were younger, and so it keeps everything fresh.
Yeah, definitely. And I think a lot of like the tracks like a Latin house, Afro house, you're seeing a lot of like the old songs coming, like literally like the new version. But
people love the nostalgia. They love the nostalgia. Nostalgia is like the best feeling because you think about when you were younger and all the good days, and
the production just keeps getting better. So it's like the sound is getting better. Obviously, the original is always going to be the best, but it's getting closer.
Exactly.
It's all about the vibes. What's one piece of advice you'd give to up-and-coming producers?
One piece of advice is to be consistent and persistent. The people who make it in this game are the ones that don't quit. It's like the most important thing is to not stop, because the more you are persistent and consistent, the more you learn. And the more you learn, the better you become. And then the more success you'll have. If you lock yourself in a studio for 8 months, 9 months, and you just work on your craft and work on your music, you will change your future.
That's for sure. So just keep getting better. Just keep working with people.
Collaborating with other people, learning how they produce.
Exactly,
tricks from them. I mean, music is a collaborative thing, I don't think anyone just makes music just solely alone. Like there's inspiration, there's collaboration, there's, that's why music is such a great thing, is because you're in a community of other people making music, making art with other people, and that's what's really amazing.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And I think if we look at like a Spotify playlist, like how many collaborations there are, it's not just a one person track anymore. It's so many, and that's really great to hear, because you like hear the kind of different elements from everyone.
Yeah, that it's really great, because electronic music, there's that energy. It's like, oh, you work with this DJ, then you can work with this DJ. I think it's like one of the only genres where it's just super collaborative, and I think that's what draws a lot of people to electronic music. It's because it's like this kind of family community where it's like it's not that as much of a competition as it is with other genres. It's like, oh, let's work together. Yeah, no problem. Let's get in the studio, and I think that's what draws people to it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think especially seeing like the different genres as well, like people in a certain genre want to like make that genre bigger and get it more well known. And that's why collaborating is honestly a great idea, of course.
Soda Music, the #1 website for high-quality plugins and sample packs.
But on the collabs, if you could collaborate with any artist, dead or alive, who would that be and why?
Definitely Avicii or Swedish House Mafia. Just because they're the goats to me. And I mean, Avicii was the main reason I really continued in music. And I really loved Avicii's era from like 2009, 2010, 2011, where he's making like groovy tech kind of jams, but then he gets into like then obviously over time he just sort of makes this pure hits. But you know, even like Axwell, Sebastian Ingrosso, like Steve Angelo, like before they made their like kind of anthems, they were doing like these like super groovy like house jams that were just so cool. And I kind of try to take that influence from those era and kind of bring it to today. And so just getting in the studio with them, you know, and just making a track with them would be just surreal. And just learning from them would just be great. Know how they produce and make music and stuff.
I remember like the Avicii Swedish House Mafia, like when I still lived in Australia, we have like it's not like a spring break, but we call it schoolies. So anyone in Australia knows it is schoolies, yeah. And I remember those years too. I think it was 2010, 2011, like went wild, like crazy. And those are the vibes. Like whenever I think of the Avicii Swedish House Mafia, like I understand you completely.
So it's the nostalgia just for like especially when I discovered house music, and it was just like, oh, what is this like music? Yeah.
All right.
And
what are some of your favorite tracks or albums that you've been listening to lately?
It's too hard to put like one name on the artists, or I mean, because there's so many, but definitely a lot of the Afro melodic tech jams, like it just spans over all the genres because there's so much good music out there right now, and so many talented artists, and so it's just there's not one I would put. I would just stay out on the lookout for all my new music because we have a lot. We've been kind of collecting them like acorns, and then gonna like throw them all out in like next like month or so. So over the next couple months. So
cool. Yeah, because I've seen a few sneak peeks on Instagram as well. I was like, oh, I need that track.
Yeah, we got not yet. Really fun, awesome, really cool collaborations. We're doing a lot in the Latin community. We're doing with the reggaeton music. Like we're doing like we have a song with Dalex coming. Like we have just really amazing music coming.
Awesome! I can't wait. All right, the last but not least, what's your favorite product from Soda Music?
So I love the new Basecamp, the newest update. The favorite presets are 3, 18, and I want to say I think it was I like 1 a lot too, but I think it was also 6. But I just love it. I love how plucky, and they feel also a little analog, and they just sound super high quality. They're amazing to produce with.
I know. When you said 3, like 3 was the first one. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
I was gonna roll with our line off. Just
like, that's nice.
I know. Yeah, and it's just I'm like, oh, that's also a nice one. But 3 was exactly. All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Soda Music, the #1 website for high-quality plugins